Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a more in-depth analysis of the potential for some snowfall across parts of London and southeast England during the course of tomorrow afternoon. So let's get into it now. This is the current rainfall radar. You can see we here have a band of rain, which is bumping into cold air, turning to snow across parts of Scotland, also parts of northeastern England there, and also sleet in other locations as well. And the general trend for this rain band is that it's going to move further south, and it's going to become occluded through the course of Thursday, and eventually will move out of the UK by Thursday afternoon. This is the UKV weather model. If I just run it forwards and backwards, you can see this is that band of sleet and snow, and you can see here we have some very mild air in place, or not very mild, but pretty mild air in place across southern and southwestern parts of the United Kingdom. This is, by the way, the temperature about 1.5 kilometers. And then notice that we then push through the loop, and notice that then what happens is that we have a small little low pressure center form right around here. This is when the fronts become occluded, and then we have this mild air being dragged south, and then notice on the northeast side of that we then get kind of a push of cold air starting to sweep in, and then but you still notice here that we still have some precipitation with that. So the threat is that that could actually turn to rain. And if you just notice in this region, you can see as I run through this loop, we get that push of colder air, and then notice as we have the cold air coinciding with the rain, we could actually see a spell of sleet and snow, and this model is showing actually a spell of sleet and snow as this low pressure system moves south. And generally at this height, we want to look for temperatures of about -5 degrees for a reasonable chance of snow, and you can see that we just about have that number coming in there. But I must stress that it doesn't have to be that number or lower. You can get it even at -1 or even sometimes 0 degrees. But if we look at forecast temperatures, you can see that across the region, they're generally 0 to 1 or 2 degrees. That's favourable if we have cold enough dew points, and you can see that dew points are probably a little bit on the cold side. Warm side. You probably want dew points to be 0. And notice if you run through this loop, in that region, we don't really get those 0 dew points coming in until a bit later after the main threat has passed down there. So there is definitely uncertainty. If I just get rid of this. There is definitely uncertainty, and I'm going to look into it a bit more as well. So this is one weather model called the uksnow model, and you can see this model is having the low pressure system a bit further east, so more around this area, and then bringing it south like that, and it has most of the precipitation on the west side. And this allows the cold air to come in a bit more efficiently and actually give, let me just find it, a fairly good spell of actual snow, though with sleet in other areas as well, down to London and the southeast. So there we have the most precipitation around that region, and that kind of brings in the cold air a bit more efficiently from the northeast side, and ends up giving some places a dusting of 1 to 3 centimeters. A more kind of aggressive model solution would be this one. This doesn't have the extent as far south as the other one, but it has a bit more of an extent than the other one. So I mean, a bit more severe than the other one. So 2 to 5 centimeters. And then this is the, if I just find the Europe, and okay, this is the European model right here, and you can see this, we have that low sinking south through to the Channel. This is much more further south and east than the other models I've been showing, and this has most of the precipitation on the northeast side and the northwest side and the northern side, and that brings in cold air like this. And we have that cold air to the east. It brings in cold air and turns to a band of quite heavy, possibly even settling snow. But bear in mind, this model does actually show any wintry precipitation as snow. So this could be sleet, this could be snow and not settle. But this is definitely the most extreme solution, and this is showing 1+ centimetres all the way down through Kent, parts of Cambridgeshire, even parts of East Anglia, all the way through northern England, with up to even 5 centimetres in north of London. And bear in mind that this model, like I just said, does show all wintry precipitation as settling snow. So, I mean, it's probably unlikely to get that much, but some areas could see a dusting. And I mean, it's really quite a nowcasting situation, which means that you really don't really know until you see what the radar's doing. And I mean, the models have the low pressure system all over the place, around here, around here, around here, and we've got a very large spread, and it is very uncertain, but it does look like some areas of the southeast could see some snow. If we take a look at what's called a Skew chart, or a forecast sounding, this gives you kind of a 3D look at the atmosphere. If I just change that to a more easy to see color right there, this red line here, sorry, not that one. This red line here, that is temperature, and then the green line here is dew points. So when the red line and green line are on top of each other like they are through here, that means that the atmosphere is saturated, and that means that there's generally cloud and rain in this area. And the most important part is to try and find out about what kind of temperatures we're seeing. You can see at the surface we're seeing temperature forecast of just above freezing, and a dew point forecast of freezing. By the way, this is for north of London at around 6 o'clock, so the potential threat time. And you can see we go a little bit below that, just above the surface, but then notice we have a slightly warmer layer right above that, and that could mean that as rain falls down as snow, it then melts a tiny bit and then turns into a bit of sleet. So it's pretty uncertain, but the potential is there, and some models have been showing it, so it does look like we could potentially see a dusting to some areas. I think that the best location would be high ground, so maybe the Chilterns, parts of the North Downs in Kent, and then maybe probably to the north of London and into the Midlands. So that's probably your best bet for seeing snow. And now I'm going to pretty much wrap up the video. This is a new type of video that I tried today, because I asked in my last one, are people interested in seeing a more in-depth analysis, and some people said yes. So this is my first try. If you liked it, like the video. If you didn't like it, then put in the comments why you didn't like it, so then I can improve for next time. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice evening.